Why are your orchids dying? Your nice fowl that you got. Hey guys, welcome back to LPLR Orchids. Thanks for checking in. There's a difference between like an orchid actually dying and your orchid just, losing a bottom leaf, or in some cases losing a couple bottom leaves. Let's get into some chores. I mean, growing orchids isn't hard, but if you want to grow good orchids and grow them well, gotta invest in some repotting and some maintenance, which is great. And fun. It's part of the hobby. Getting them to bloom is kind of like you extend that light, media, water, and temperature triangle, extend that, and then you can focus on like really good blooms and maximizing the plant's potential. But just keeping the plants alive is kind of like the first step. So let's look at some chores we need to do here now that it's spring and the days are getting a little longer. We're almost at spring equinox. Yeah, the first one, we did a video of this, a photo shoot recently. Little mini fowl that the boss picked up when she was out shopping. So no ID. But when you buy new plants, like this one's grown and ground up cocoa husk. In our conditions, we can't grow. I just don't, we don't have luck with it. So it needs to get put into some regular media. So that needs to get done ASAP while there's some new growing root tips. Always when there's new growing root tips is a good time to repot. And this fowl, the media is just starting to break down. It's been in this pot now for 2 years going on, so it needs to be redone. And again, there's new growing root tips, and now is a good time to do that one. And then for these two fowls, basically I need to pot them down, or I want to pot them down. I think they're in too big of pots, and the media is staying too moist too long. Especially like here, you can see there's new growing roots there, and there are some roots growing down in, but this pot is way too big for this orchid. So those are the phals, and we're going to do those, here. But quick interlude. The other things that we need to repot. So catasetums, if you grow catasetums or you want to grow them, then now is the time to repot when they're in dormancy. I'm going to split this catasetum because we have nothing to lose. We haven't been able to get our catasetums to bloom over the last couple of years. So I'm going to take these two pseudobulbs as one division, and these little 4 mini ones, this one's probably going to fall off. It's not doing too good. It's already loose. Take those as another division. Hopefully that one will come back. I made up a new tag. I just cut the old one and made up a new one for both plants. And yeah, it's getting a new little growth. So before it really starts growing roots, I want to do that. And I'm going to put both of these into semi-hydroponics. So I made the pots just earlier, old soda bottles. That's what we use for all our semi-hydroponics basically here. They're ready to go. And the media, these are in their dormant season, right? So I don't want to water them. And I'm cautious, especially with making a division, a cut. I don't want this media to be wet. Although I rinsed it today because it has a lot of dust. So I wanted to rinse it. So that's one division and propagation, if you will, we're going to do. And then we're also going to cut up the Maxillaria schunkiana. We're going to do this one. It has like this natural division right down the middle. It's growing a lot of nice new pseudobulbs right now. Tons of new growth coming out on it. It's done flowering for the year. Oh, here's an old flower. Pull that out. Old flower. Just kind of part of our thrip and bug prevention is we're trying to go through and repot and just get rid of a lot of old media that might contain bugs or eggs or whatever. And we're not going to do our entire collection, but certainly some of these ones that tend to be more prone to bugs, we want to repot. So let's get down to it. We're going to go super fast. We'll show you all the results and any highlights along the way. This one should be super fast.
Yeah, that's totally wrong. Still gonna cut more of this.
Alrighty, yeah. So no new roots growing yet. So that's the start of this year's growth. And these actually, I mean, they look pretty good. I'm confident. Hopefully they reawaken and they send the signal now that like the main connection has been cut. So into the semi-hydroponics they go. Each one of them already losing media off the plate. All right, so I'm going to use some fresh media on top that isn't wet. Perfect. One done. Not watering. Don't water. Don't water. Now is the time to not water. So I have no idea if this is going to grow. I mean, they say, I've read online that, you know, catasetums can be done with a couple pseudobulbs, but these are kind of old and they aren't very strong pseudobulbs. If it starts to grow again, that would be great. Who knows? And that one we may have just set back so it won't bloom for another year or ever. Who knows? They haven't been blooming, so got the second label there. Again, not watering. Those are done. Awesome. I'm going to throw this stuff away right now because it could have eggs of bugs. Okay. So tags made up. Cut this guy right in half. Got the pots already ready. I mean, this could be easier said than done. See, there's some new roots. There's lots of new growths coming all out. That's like, it's had to be done. I'm not sure exactly how this is gonna go. I mean, I feel like right down the middle there's this natural division point, but I'm just gonna go for it. You know, that's the thing, like when you're repotting, I think you just gotta have confidence, go for it. It probably would be better to cut it, but now these guys like moisture, so we'll have to keep them a bit more hydrated over the next couple weeks. Love maxillarias, they're so great, easy to propagate, really nice plants. I mean, they do take a bit more moisture and care, but generally they're great. Tag facing outward. Yeah. Pull off any old stuff, try to get any of that junk out of there. That I worry about. I don't want to leave that big chunk of open tissue. I'd rather have a one clean cut higher up that'll dry out more. Okay. I'm going to leave it like that. Yeah. Fine. Tag in there. That's looking good. Wash real quick. This thing needs to be super moist all the time, really wet. It does best that way. And yeah, when we can't water it, it really has suffered. And I think this is just way too big. And especially since most of it has died. So I'm going to just quickly...
I think we'll chop it, right? Yeah. And that's it, because the rest of it's dead. So that's what we have. I'm going to put it into this thing. So, yeah, squeeze down. Yeah, leave them in the bottom. Just going to really pack it down, just to give it. Just going to put it down, that's why. kind of try to snake it around. Put the stake on there. Alright, done.
These two we want to pot down, and these two need fresh repots, so I'm going to start with this one. I want this little pot to put this guy in, so we'll do this one first. And I got to wash that really good and sanitize it, so we'll take all this off, see what the roots look like. I mean, it doesn't look bad, actually. Yeah, growing in this media, we don't have very much success, so we try to repot all of our phalaenopsis when we get them. Put a little media down there, tuck it down around. Get down under the leaves, and yeah, I don't want to pack it too tight. Some of these big pieces aren't going to work. Much better. Grow and recover over the next year and bloom. Dab out water. Since, yeah, we washed it and cleaned it in between. We could dab out more. So I've got this pot, that one was just in, and now I want to do the Gigantea flava. Put it in this net pot, but it's still too big, and I think it's still holding too much moisture. The root system is pretty small, and I did notice some growing root tips, as is the case on most of these, thankfully. But you can see, for that small a root system, this pot is way too big. It's just holding too much moisture. They need to dry out faster. Even though that was a pretty airy planting, I mean, you can see that this media doesn't look too bad. And it's been like this for a year. This will be much more appropriately sized. Super easy, just throw a little bit in the bottom, give it a base, tuck it down in, kind of give it the little twist, holding it by the leaves. And then for this one, I do want some smaller bits. Really airy planting, be gentle. Even on phals, it pays to be gentle with the roots. They say, you know, about these giganteas, that's always what they say, is the roots are really temperamental and fussy and quite easy to damage. But, you know, hey, you gotta repot them. I think this is much, much better for this plant now. Down under the leaves, always so much better. I think this is, see, comparatively, I mean, look at the size of that pot. Just that bit of difference, I think, will make a huge, huge difference in the growth of the plant. At least the growth of the roots, right? That's always the key ingredient, and it fits so nicely in that pot. It's got a perfect little label out. So that's a great seedling. Super confident that it'll grow. Get rid of that because, again, there could be some insects down in there or something. We'll throw that off to the side for now. Those two are done. The Gigantea and the No ID. This one, I just need to replace the media, right? So to keep the roots healthy, when bark breaks down, it becomes like acidic and it holds moisture way, way too much. It's not good. In Phalaenopsis, they like to have a bit of a, you know, a rest in between waterings. It's been in this pot for quite a while, and the media was breaking down. It was starting to look really gross. The roots are not bad, but they're sticking to the side of the pot. While that isn't horrible, I just look at how gross that is. I mean, when you compare it to the last media when it came out, it's black, it's dark, not looking healthy. Thankfully, the roots on this are still okay, so that's what I mean, be proactive. Now, I won't cut anything off of here. I mean, I could probably snip these two little dead things there. I'm just gonna, and actually, there's this little brown one. Most people would probably say just leave it, but you know what? I'm just gonna snip that off too. But these hairs do still get some water up into the plant. Got a fresh pot. Now, well, actually, this is too big. See, that would be too big. So I'm gonna have to, could I use this one? I was gonna use the net pot for that one. I think I'm gonna wash this real quick. I'm just gonna reuse the same pot, just replace the media. So that's the plan for this. I'm gonna reuse the same pot. Let me wash it real quick. Wash the pot, got it all clean, got a little bit of fresh media down in the bottom, wash the plant, and do the little twisty, make sure the roots are down in the media. Twisty deal to get it down in there. Put down, throw some media down in there, hook it down around. Too big. Need some down there. Done. Throw the label back in. Awesome. 3. And then the Falmarii, we'll have to wash the label. You can see a couple of them. They've been in these pots for a while. The roots are coming back. It's time, though. This pot is way too big. Again, look how black and dark that is. It's like staying way too wet. And this, we'd put some of this media in. Maybe it was good to help it get going again. I don't know. This thing has a concerningly long stem, so we'll see. Again, I'll trim a couple little ones off of there. Okay, so I'm gonna put it into, well, try to put it into this pot. Yeah, I need to actually. You're right. Let's wash it. Yeah, most houseplants you don't really want to do that with the roots, like wind them down around, but you know, I guess orchids are a little different. Yeah. There's a growing root tip I want down. This is a big down pot. We'll put it down that easy. Okay, there's the 4 fowls. I gotta dry them off. A little bit of media left. Yeah, you're right. Dry them now. See, that's why the boss is the hidden. She keeps it on point. So dry those off. Take a tiny piece of paper towel. Stick it down into the, when you wash them, you know, the water gets down. If it's in the morning, I don't worry about the water on the leaves. If it's late at night or if it's evening, you don't want water down in between the leaves and everything. You don't want them really sitting too long with water in there. All right, well, we've done now how many plants? At least 3 times this many that we did today. So we've probably done 15 plants in the last 3 days. So, you know, while orchids aren't a lot of work, they're super easy to take care of and grow as houseplants. But, you know, occasionally, like all plants, there's work that has to be done. And now's the time with these growing roots and clean them up, get the pots nice. And yeah, we like our plants to look nice. So thanks for tuning in, guys. Hope you're having a good one. And we will see you back here at El Pilar soon.